It's Wednesday, March 2nd. I'm watching this Ukraine crisis in New York. It's, I feel, a refugee crisis with what we've been experiencing. They had a war on drugs, they had a war on terror, they had a war in Afghanistan, a war in Iraq. Now we have refugee crisis. I mean, the news is not acknowledging the refugee crisis that we have here in New York State, but it's the Empire State, and it's a valid assessment, honestly. I have this going on. They're saying they're calling overseas a Ukraine crisis on this eyewitness news coverage. The media here seems to be, with all these refugees, with all their democratic bureaucracy that comes out of their mouth, it seems the messages are so convoluted. It is hard for a clean message to get through. Here's an example.
Look for updates on air and on ABC7NY.
Now, noon, firefighters rescuing two people from an apartment fire in New Jersey this morning. News
Nope,
coverage
that's not
7
it. Okay, so it's March 2nd. That's the time. It's noon at news at noon.
Noon, firefighters rescuing two people from an apartment fire in New Jersey this morning. News coverage 7.
Why does it keep jumping back there?
Mask mandate.
Now, here's the thing. In New York, you've got March 2nd, New York State mandate lifted. So that's Honorable Governor Kathy Hochul. This is what she said at state level. Now, my more local to where I am is some other, I can't figure out how they got an allowance, but it's a like micro government of New York City. If this is a macro government over New York City, I don't know. It's hard to tell. Because,
that means
listen,
local districts can decide to make masks optional. On Friday, Mayor Eric Adams says he'll make a decision about New York City's.
So now Mayor Adams, not Governor, Mayor Adams, says that if this is the state and Governor Kathy Hochul, this is what the mayor's deciding. A totally different day. Nobody's agreeing on anything. I don't know if this is a temper tantrum. I don't know if he's having like MLB lockout syndrome. I have no idea at the moment. It gets very confusing. But here's the thing. I don't know who elected Mayor Eric Adams or what campaign coattail, because he's part of the refugee crisis. I don't care how long time has dilated, how many generations has gone by. He's part of the refugee crisis. With some referee and referendum somewhere else, someone causing humanitarian crisis, someone not being good at their job of leaving no survivors. Survivors were had, survivors were moved. Now government doesn't know what to do, doesn't know how to feed the kids, doesn't know how to manage them. It's a real mess.
School mandate, if it all goes according to plan. The mayor says he will lift the mandate on Monday.
So here, New York City's deciding if, here's his projection, but he's still not in sync with Governor Kathy Hochul for whatever that means in larger area, whatever, in a localized system. Now, here's how New York City, in its generational polluting state of being, this is what it looks like in the year 2022.
To make students more eager to attend school, finding the schools with practices that work, and then spreading the news throughout the city, prioritizing wellness and its impact on student success, like focusing on healthy meals and forming partnerships with parents. Eyewitness News reporter Kimberly Richardson will have much more on the chancellor's announcement later on today on Eyewitness News. President Biden seeking to project unity as he delivered his first State of the Union address.
ABC 7, New York.
New at noon, New York City Schools Chancellor David Banks in his first major policy announcement unveiling 4 pillars.
No idea how a school chancellor even gets elected, appointed, whatever.
Pillars in creating a new normal in the public school system.
New normal. Why? It says New York City Schools Chancellor Banks unveils 4 pillars for new normal. Why is there a new normal? What happened to the old normal? Why does nobody get a say in how their population and demography is arranged? Who is pushing up on the normal that has rock and paper and some scissors? Why is there so much rewriting over the land people that were here and that are here? How does one survive this kind of insurrection or this kind of invasion that's quietly not even addressed on the state news media? They just want everybody to think this is the new normal. It's not. It's not acceptable. It's not okay. Nobody asked our permission. Nobody involved us in how are our lives going to be affected and impacted? How are we going to be able to raise our families? How are we going to be able to survive this? Where do we go? Who do we speak with? How does the system work? It was before this was happening quietly, and then just boom, all of a sudden it is just everywhere. And now it's just like, what, we just have to deal with it? How? It's *1978, *8378, Nicole Cattaruzza. There are larger conversations that are not being had. And if they are being had, they're not being had in an effective manner. There's some kind of larger real estate development tactic going on, which I don't know how or why, but the evidence is everywhere. It's unacceptable. I just don't know why there's so much tolerance of this unacceptable behavior going on and being like passed forward. There are real lives affected by it. Real lives that were this was their sanctuary. This was their abbey. This was their congregation. This was their cathedral. This was their sacred space. And now all of a sudden there's this influx from nobody knows where. And nobody seems to have any answers. And everything's been knocked out. Communications, education, jobs, career, self-sustaining ability, society. I mean, I don't know if the haves know just how horrific their inefficiency and ineffectiveness hurts the have-nots. But it's very significant. It's *1978, *8378, Nicole Cattaruzza. It's Earth, Solar System, Milky Way, Universe, Galaxies, Broken. It's Bayside Station, Bayside, New York, 11361. And there was no moon for the last 4 days. Last night it was cloudy, so I don't know, but last night would have been 5th day. Today I'm on the 6th, and I don't know because it's not night yet. The sunlight is extremely high.